big enough for you?
You have nothing but storage.
All right.
Do I need to make you the host, PJ?
Yes, please. My
Okay.
internet's acting funky, so I'm gonna re-log in from my computer.
Okay.
It wasn't working a minute ago, so you may have two of me for a second.
Okay.
Please wait. Okay, let me please. Thank you. All right, look, you guys got double. I'm gonna leave this
one because maybe that's doing. Is that better?
Yes.
Okay. Yep. Okay. All right. So we've got a special guest today, guys, and he just sent me a message that his computer is doing a restart, so he should be on in 2 minutes. So we are going to take a break from doing tactics today to have a little mastermind conversation. So figured we'd mix it up a little bit, and this was the only day I could get this guy on. So it is what it is. Rachel, do you have the Facebook Live up and going?
I sure do. You're good.
Perfect. I'm just going to log into that real quick. So how we doing? Gail, Chelsea, Tom, how are you guys doing?
Hey, doing good. How about yourself?
Good, good. Very well. Thank you for asking. How's everybody else doing?
Doing very well, sir.
Cool. Chelsea, how you doing?
I got an offer on my listing today.
Woohoo! Yeah, love it.
Yeah.
So I think we may have talked about this yesterday. Did everybody see the message from the president of CRRA come out yesterday? If you didn't, just to let you know, they're working really hard right now, and they're asking all agents for examples of a situation where a real estate agent is needed in Mecklenburg County right now to reopen Mecklenburg County. So really, basically, guys, what is our role and what is our function? You know, we have a fiduciary duty and responsibility to our clients and our clients alone. And a lot of times in situations that is happening in Mecklenburg County right now, somebody still has to buy yet I can't show them that house because it's not vacant. If that buyer wants to go out and just go to that house and knock on the door and do a deal with the seller right there, unrepresented or what have you, they're in their full legal right to go ahead and do it. The problem with that is that if somebody wants to be using, because you don't have to use a real estate agent, we know that. Yet if somebody wants the protection that a real estate agent can provide for them, because they don't do this every day, then that's a conversation that we need to be a part of. And so they're talking with the local county right now, with Mecklenburg County, in getting it basically back to business as usual, just for the time for our industry at least. So that's being a little bit of a challenge in itself. Today was the first day where I've really noticed that some appraisers are backed up a lot right now. And that's one of the big things, is that appraisers are being backed up, but loan officers as well. And that was something that we had first noticed today in our business. And so as a result, we had a closing that was scheduled for today on my team, and we had to go ahead and push that. So guys, just be mindful and be aware right now that what you guys will, depending upon which county you guys are doing business in, I would not wait on anything. I would have everything ordered up front. I would leave yourself some extra time in your due diligence periods. Just be mindful that everything may take a little bit longer. If it used to take us 4 to 5 days to get an appraiser out there, understand it may be 7 to 8 right now. So let's make sure that we do what's right by our clients and that we don't hinder or harm them in any way, shape, or form. So without further ado, I see Matt's jumped on here. So Matt, want to introduce you. We've also are doing this Facebook Live. We've got a couple of agents watching on there. So,
awesome.
So Matt is Katrina's productivity maps coach. So you guys all know Katrina, our PC coach. He is her coach. So if you guys have any problems with Katrina, you just yell at Matt, and then he'll yell at Katrina. No, I'm kidding. She's gonna kill me.
That's how it works usually. Yeah.
So Matt, tell us a little bit about yourself and a little bit about your background, if you don't mind, please.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's see. Got licensed in 2012. Became a lead buyer specialist for a top team in our area. I'm from Denver, Colorado, and then in 2014, we had an opportunity to start a productivity coaching program in our market center. And so I was asked to do that. I stepped down from my team. I did that, and we launched our productivity coaching program. It went from non-existent to helping the market center almost double our agent count, and became one of the top 10 productivity coaching programs in the country in a matter of 2 years. Now, I say that to say this: it's not that I'm an unbelievable coach. I think I'm a pretty good coach, and yet I follow systems and models. If my program was modeled after MREA, so I'm a big believer in MREA. Shift the one thing. You follow systems and models, good things happen in your business.
Absolutely. So guys, what we're going to do is we're going to kind of mastermind this, so you guys don't have to keep yourselves muted. And really, a lot of you guys know I have a background in productivity coach before as well. And so what we kind of want to do is, Matt and I were talking about this earlier, just what are the obstacles that you guys are seeing in your business right now? And so as we kind of already talked about, appraisers being backed up, things just taking a little bit longer. And then Chelsea, I know you said you just got an offer on a property. Talk to us a little bit about what you guys are seeing out there right now, or maybe some objections you're hearing from clientele. What are you guys seeing?
Well, we're definitely getting a lot of that. We're going to need to wait. You guys can't really do anything right now other than virtual. We feel like it's better for us to wait and get past this COVID-19 before we go on the market, that type of thing. I mean, I'm hearing some of that.
Okay. Would you mind if I dug in on that a little bit deeper?
Love for you too.
Okay, fantastic. So, by the way, as you're handling objections, the important thing is to get as specific as possible. If they throw out a general objection, well, we think it's best to wait, that's not that's not an objection. That's actually a deflection. We need to really dive in on what the issue is specifically. So, Tom, would you role play here with me a little bit?
Yeah, man.
Okay, so great. So I understand that you feel it's important to wait, and I certainly understand that. How, tell me a little bit though, what is causing you to think that waiting is the best thing for you right now?
Well, guys can't get out and see the houses right now, like like they could before this pandemic started. So I don't really feel like there's that many buyers out there.
Okay, okay. Would you mind if I shared with you some statistics?
Sure.
Okay, great. So this is where you take the opportunity, open up your MLS. PJ, on your MLS, you have a hot sheet right there in the middle that shows how many properties are listed, how many went under contract, that type of thing.
Yep. We can pull it up if you need it.
Yeah, if you want to pull it up, I think that would be great.
It continue to go.
Okay, so what you do is you pull up that information, you say, listen, and I'm just going to make up numbers at this point. Listen, I certainly understand how you'd feel that way, and I wanted to show you that within the last 7 days, there were 347 properties that went under contract.
Wow.
So what does that tell you?
I guess folks are still buying, huh?
They are, you know what? And Tom, the beautiful thing about this is anybody who's out there, they're not looky-loos. So what does that mean?
I never heard that expression before, looky-loos. What do you mean by that?
Looky-loos is in people who are just thinking about maybe buying if they happen to come across the right property.
Oh, okay.
All right.
So these are serious buyers, huh?
These are serious buyers. Yeah,
Okay.
these are serious buyers. These are people who have an absolute need to get into a property as soon as possible.
Cool.
So as you can see from these statistics, we had 108 properties go under contract without ever setting a showing. I'm assuming that's what that means, right, PJ? The no-show?
So we have 17 counties in our
Yep.
MLS, and we only have one that's on lockdown, yet is still allowing showings of vacant properties. So
Okay.
there's a workaround in Mecklenburg County, and yet a lot of these, it doesn't give us the breakdown exactly. I've got this report, and I've got another one if you want.
That's fine. That's fine. I mean, that one just showed us 273 properties went under contract. I'm assuming that's over the last 7 days.
Yes. So here's one that's a little bit more detailed around what happened in the last week and what happened for the month of March. Can you guys see that one?
Yeah.
So I don't know which set of numbers you want to use.
Well, I would say, it's important to get as specific as possible. So honestly, the other one was probably a better view. As well as you could say, okay, let's pull up a 5-mile radius of your property. I want to show you, here's all the properties that went under contract over the last 14 days. All right, so in your 5-mile radius, here's all the properties that went under contract. So business is still happening, and the people who are out there, they really have to be in something. So does that help you, Tom?
It helps me a lot. I took away from that, the first objection you get is probably a deflection, and the main thing is to get specific and dive a little deeper.
Well, and the first objection, it's if the objection is broad, if the objection is we just want to wait.
Right.
Okay. A mistake that you can make is by taking whatever they say at face value. Okay, tell me a little bit more about that. We're looking for the difference between a condition and an objection.
I see.
An objection is simply a question in the mind, right? Bold teaches us this. A question is, well, if this was not the case, then we would move forward, right? A condition is something that we cannot control, right? We had a bankruptcy and we have to wait 3 months before we become eligible for another loan. Okay, I don't care how good your objection handling skills are. You can't overcome that, right? That's just a condition that we can't get around. And yet, most people take an objection and think about it as a condition.
So, Matt, what I just did is I went and got approximately where our office is located. I did just under contract show, under contract no show, and so now this is going to be a wider range of. I can't put it. I can adjust the timeline to it. So this
Yeah,
is
just
going
go
back
30.
So we want to do like 30 days.
Yeah, let's just do 30. So there you go. 169 properties in the last 30 days went under contract. Within a, what was the size of the radius?
5 miles from where our office is located.
There you go. So business is happening.
And then of course we can change this to, let's look at how many new active listings we had come on. And so we've got 295 active listings. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't put a, let's do that 0 to 30. 86 new listings in the last 30 days. And then we can even go in and look at what's coming soon. Now, we don't have to put a number in coming soon because I don't know if, Matt, if you have coming soon out in Colorado, we can only do it for 21 days.
Sure.
So that should tell us. So we've got 16 not yet listed coming soon properties.
Absolutely.
And then if you want, we can also see what we've got that's closed in the last 30 days. And we've got 135 properties that have closed. And again, all within a 5 mile radius of our office.
Absolutely. So the important thing to remember at this time is there's emotion and there's logic, right? It's like they say in Bold, logic makes them think, emotion makes them act. And so what they're doing is they're thinking in emotion. Fear is a paralyzing emotion. Fear is something that they don't want to do anything that might harm them, so they're choosing to do nothing. So the way we combat that is by helping them get into logic. And helping them decide, is waiting really the best option, or do they think waiting is the best option because fear is controlling them?
Well, and I'll just add in, when you're talking about fear, and some of you guys may have heard me say this before, fear just stands for false evidence appearing real. That's all fear is. And a lot of times when we act out of fear, there's two options, and it's two other acronyms for fear. So we can forget everything and run, or we can face everything and rise. And so, as I think some of you guys have heard this from me before, there are times where we need to forget everything and run. If somebody's asking you to do something illegal with the sale of a property, you better forget everything and run. Yet a lot of times it's face everything and rise, and that can be uncomfortable for people. So when there's a lack of education or a lack of logic, as Matt's talking about right now, maybe they just don't have the right answers. I'll just go back to the point of even if we can't show in Mecklenburg County, it's occupied, so we can't go and show it. Keep in mind, investors, military, overseas, people who buy houses on a regular basis without ever walking in the door, we need to have those conversations. And when you logically break it down, I think this is what Matt's getting at, you logically can break that down, Tom, for your clients, then it's, oh yeah, well, I guess people do that on a regular basis. So as a result, they start to have more buy-in to the conversation. And so it may take you a little bit longer, I think, with the conversation right now with clientele, yet I think it's going to be well worth it. And this is the thing. If you're not willing to spend the time to have the conversation, I promise you there's a real estate agent out there that is, and they're going to get the business. So just something to be mindful of.
Absolutely. And it's also about thinking about the creative ways to get around these things. So PJ, you tell me, you stop me if any of this is not legal where you are. Okay.
Okay.
There are other agents out there where what they're having their sellers do, because nobody's allowed in the property. So what the seller is doing is they're recording a video of every aspect of the home, and they're even giving their commentary. We replaced these blinds in 2018, and we did this, and they're giving the buyer the they're giving the buyer that video, and then I can tell you how they do it in Colorado, and you tell me if
No, that's
If
fine here. We're doing the
if
same
it's-
thing.
okay. So what they're doing in Colorado is we have been putting in a period date. So basically they'll go under contract without showing the property, and then they'll have up to 3 days where the buyer is able to show the property as it's considered an inspection at that point. And we obviously take all the necessary safety precautions, gloves, masks, the whole 9 yards. And so that way business can still happen. It's just not in the traditional way of 100 people coming through their house at once.
So Matt, that is in the one county where they're kind of locked things down, that is allowed, same exact thing. We are a due diligence state though. I don't know if you're familiar with that or not. So we do have non-refundable due diligence money that gets put up front, essentially.
Okay.
So there are some challenges around that right now. Yet we've worked out agreements, and a lot of people are having lawyers draft different things. So you're 100% correct. You're on the same page with what we're doing.
So yeah, I mean, if there's a way to say, hey, you know, we have within 24 hours to do that, and then the earnest money or the deposit money goes into effect. I mean, it's just about finding creative solutions, because at the end of the day, buyers need to buy, sellers want to sell, and our job is to figure out a way to do that. That obviously is legal and safe and all of those things. So absolutely. So go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, what else are we hearing out there?
Yeah, that's what I was. Yeah. What other questions do we have, Chelsea? I thought you were going to chime in with something there. Maybe not. Anybody else got questions?
Looks like she's unmuting or attempting to.
There you go,
So
Chelsea.
I guess what I'm seeing really is just being priced properly and how that affects like traffic. And like you said, the buyers that are out there are very serious. And so if you're priced kind of under where you're supposed to be, they're just going to be the ones that raise the price. And I think Tom said something about that yesterday, or maybe a couple days ago. So that's really important right now, because it's even faster.
Yeah, and I think that's not always an easy conversation to have, the price reduction conversation or at the initial listing consultation. Yet, guys, I think it's really hard for us to undervalue a property right now, because the people that are out there are serious and they need to purchase. And Matt, I don't know how familiar you are with our market. I mean, our market has been up for the last 6 years. Or even longer, just been up. And guys, you know, I know I've said this till I'm blue in the face. Truist just became the 6th largest bank in the country, and they're moving their people from Atlanta to Charlotte, and they're moving their people from Winston-Salem down to Charlotte. So those people are coming regardless. And so Chelsea, you're 100% right. We've got the demand is out there. It's convincing the sellers to put the supply up there. And again, like I said, at an aggressive price, you're going to get into a bidding war. So go ahead, Matt.
This book is more relevant today than it has been for the last 10 years. And I would encourage you to take a look at Shift Tactic 9, which is the buyer urgency tactic. And a lot of the things that are in there are extremely relevant today, because when we are in a shifted market, we don't go from, in an up market, we look at what's sold within the last 30 days, right? What's in the area, what's in the neighborhood, what's sold over the last 30 days. And that's typically how we price. We take that price, tack on, a little bit extra because the market's going up, and that's how we throw the price out there. That's not the case anymore. Right now, we are in a price war and a beauty pageant with every single active that's on the market. So our strategy has to become showing the most value for the least amount of money in that neighborhood. So paying attention to actives when you're pricing is a crucial strategy for success.
And guys, I just want to say for the record, I didn't pay him to say that. Matt, we just went over Tactic 9 on Friday.
Okay.
And we've been working through every tactic in the book. We did 10 yesterday, and we kind of paused that today so we could have you on. Yet, so I appreciate the endorsement of it. Yet, guys, I really didn't tell him that. I swear.
You send just Venmo me $50 later. We'll
Yeah, you got
we'll
it.
be good. But really,
else?
what worked in an up market isn't necessarily working in this market. So we really have to be diligent. And as far as having the price reduction conversation, I'm sure PJ and your amazing leadership team already teaches this. Build those in, bake those price reductions right into the initial conversation that you're having at the listing. You
Yeah,
know,
and
so go ahead.
we had that conversation last week as well. The price reduction addendums, and there is one in our one of our addendums in North Carolina.
Absolutely. Let me ask you a question, PJ. Is photography of the home, specifically like Matterport, is that allowed right now?
It is allowed again for that one county. They can go in and there can be one other person there, like the agent can be there. But obviously it's supposed to only be with vacants, so the seller cannot be there. But yes, that's allowed. Inspector is still essential, appraiser is still essential, and photo and measuring as well, because we have the houses measured professionally.
The reason I ask is there's a strategy that I heard a couple of weeks back that I thought was brilliant. And so what this team is doing is they're getting a Matterport done for every single property that they list. And so they get the Matterport done, and instead of putting that Matterport link in the MLS for everyone to access, they put in the remarks, virtual showing available upon request, or virtual showing available, reach out to the listing agent. And so what they're doing is the listing agent, instead of allowing a showing in the property, they are they're providing that Matterport link to the buyer's agent. And then of course they're working out something where they have a couple of days to be able to see the property in person, kind of like we talked about it before.
Yep.
So what they're doing is they're using the Matterport as a way to basically gauge virtual showings. So they know that, I mean, the same old statistics still hold true. If you have 10 showings and no offer, or 2 weeks and no showings, you're overpriced and you need to reduce. So they're counting every Matterport hit as a showing and making their price adjustment decisions based off of that. It's one of the ways that they're making the transaction digital while still making sure that business conducts as usual.
Good point. Thank you for bringing that up. All right, let's see if anybody else has got some questions, throw them up. Matt, I've got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Where do you see, and I'm talking nationally, obviously, where do you see our business really going, and what changes do you see over the course of the next 6 months that's coming for us? What do you think we're going to have to be doing differently to list, buy, sell, invest, so on and so forth?
Yeah. You know, that's an interesting question. I know that's something that Gary and the leadership team has really been looking at. And my personal opinion is I think we're going to see some sort of hybrid of what we're doing now and versus what we used to do.
Sure.
I think that's going to create a lot of opportunity for us in this industry because efficiency is going to go through the roof. I mean, there are teams that are going on 10 listing appointments a day because they don't have to drive out and prepare everything and do all that stuff and drive back. They're literally having listing appointments from Zoom, from their office, and able to take 10 listings a day. I could see a form of that staying in place.
Sure, absolutely.
Right? So your initial listing appointment is done via Zoom, and then you actually go out to the property after all the paperwork's done to get the sign installed and do all of that. Think about how much more business you could do during that time.
Sure.
I think a lot of these restrictions that we're seeing, I don't see unless we come out with a fully released vaccine that all of a sudden it's just going to be everything's the way it used to be. I think social distancing is going to be, sort of a long-term guest of ours here. And I think it's just going to be figuring out ways to navigate around that. And I do think that technology is creating more efficiency for us. So I'd say the agent that is best prepared to navigate this type of environment is one that really focuses on having a big database and communicating with it frequently, and B, figuring out how they can efficiently work using technology and all the efficiencies that creates for us while still maintaining a people touch. I don't exactly have the formula for that today, and yet I think that we're gonna really start to see what this business looks like 2, 3, 4 months from now. And if there was one person that I would bet every penny I own is going to figure it out, it's Gary Keller.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's going to figure it out. And we're going to have a new prescription for how business is done. And I'm excited. I mean, this is not to diminish the health concerns that we have. I mean, these are serious, and it's very important that our agents are taking these seriously. And on the other side of every challenge is an opportunity. So.
Yep. There's a gift and a shift, as Gary Keller says, and
That's right.
I agree with you, Matt. I think we're going to see. I think a hybrid is the best thing that is going to come out of this, because I think we're still going to have some old school style people, just like we do guys with DocuSign, that they want to go ahead and hand sign the contract. You've got some of those high storytellers that want to tour you through their home, right? So I agree with you. I think we'll see some of a hybrid model of this. Yet I really think that I think you hit the nail right on the head when you said, the efficiency of this could really transform our businesses. When you talk about teams that are taking 10 listings a day, for some of us that maybe we just work that into the new norm of our business. And so that's what I think we need to make our focus. I applaud all you guys who are on with Facebook Live and coming on the Zoom, because when we do come out of this, you guys are going to be the ones that are thriving ahead of everybody else. We've got a couple minutes left here. Matt, you want to give us a final thought and take it home?
I just say right now, there are agents in other companies that are using this as an opportunity to sit back and wait to see what happens and not taking action. And it's the difference between, starting a race with a running start and starting a race just from step one. So when we come out of this, more opportunity is going to present itself, right? And the agent that is already in communication with their database, the agent that has already figured out how to adapt their business virtually, the agent that is in the game is going to hit the ground running so much faster than an agent who took this time to sit on the sidelines and wait for everything to shake out. So, I mean, the next number one agent in this company is going to be coming from this shift. They're honing their skills right now in this shift. So, the important thing to remember is, yes, it's creating efficiency opportunities. This is also a high touch people business, right? Zoom allows us to have that face-to-face rapport building without seeing them in person. So use those as opportunities. I think that's really it. I just say, don't waste this opportunity. Use this as an opportunity. Oh, and the last thing I will say is, if you're not communicating with your database right now via care calls, via providing value, that type of thing, you are putting yourself so far behind the 8 ball, it's not even funny. Because if they don't hear from you during this crazy time, what are they going to think if they hear from you after this crazy time? If you're not asking you, how are you? What do you need? How can I help you? Then they're just going to see, oh, well, PJ just thinks I'm a paycheck, so I don't want to work with him. I want to work with Tom. He was checking in with me to make sure that my family had everything we needed during this time. Right? Be the real estate agent of choice, and you have the opportunity to set yourself apart from the rest of the pack. That's my 2 cents.
Well, thanks, Matt. Anybody want to know any dirty secrets about Katrina? Feel free to post those questions below. Kidding. I want to thank Matt for being here today, guys. I know this is a little bit different than how we have been doing this 2 p.m. pivot call. We will get back to Tactic 11 tomorrow because I saw the look of disappointment on Tom's face when he put his ship away. So we will get back to Tactic tomorrow. I'm working on, hopefully by the end of this week, we're going to have another guest on as well. So, guys, make sure you're calling your fellow agents, any agents that you think may be in trouble right now, whether they're with our company or not. If you guys want to share this pivot link with somebody outside of our company right now, they're more than welcome to get on this. Let's get this thing going really big because for the next couple weeks, near foreseeable future, this is how we're going to be doing it. And I think that's what we need to do to bring value to all of us, to you guys and to all the other agents in our market, not just in our market center. So, Matt, thanks again for being here. Guys,
My pleasure.
Make it a great day, guys, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks.